Welcome to HeroQuest fans. This is a video that we're just throwing up real quick in lieu of a rantcast. No rantcast tonight. So obviously there has been a leak. Well, not really a leak. We have news being reported by several fans, thanks to those HeroQuest fans who are reporting this on not just our own Discord, but also the official Discord and a few other places on Facebook, most of all. Credit to, let's see, Benjamin Chapon from Facebook here. I don't usually get on Facebook, but here's the information. Also, Ecto Libris pointed this out, and several other people. So credit to everyone who's reporting it everywhere. And I'm usually the last person to report on things, but just wanted to do my quick comment on this. I don't blame anybody else for wanting to wait until it's officially posted on Hasbro Pulse in English. But here are the images. So this is Against the Ogre Horde Hero Quest, which we know is coming out, and this confirms that despite what a few people were skeptical about, the back of the box posted on eBay earlier that sale was canceled and we couldn't get a fan unboxing. That turned out to be 100% real and correct. So not to gloat about that too much because I've been wrong about a lot of stuff and had to apologize for when I was wrong. It happens. Sometimes it's better to be right than first. That's true. But I like to report on stuff, so I'm just going to go ahead and report it. So here we've got an image of the unboxing, and we see, sure enough, we've got the uh, Ogre Throne furniture. We've got the, let's see, can we zoom in on this? Yeah, we've got the Ogre Throne furniture in gray. We've got these portcullises. They appear to be single piece, but I mean, could they be two piece? Who knows? If you take it out of the candy tray, sorry, it's a little dry in here. We've got the 4 stone doors in plastic. We've got the Ogre King, let's say, pointing straight at us in beige with the 2 base sculpture. We've got the druids, and we've got this red wolf, which I admitted, could have been something other than the shapeshift form of the druid, which is what I originally thought, and a lot of other people thought. You get these skeletal archers. Let's go to the next image, again from Facebook. We've got these skeletal archers and close up on the red figures. So these are brand new sculpts. We haven't seen these before. It's kind of cool looking. Much more detailed and fanciful looking than the ones from the Mythic box of the Druid hero. So get the male and the female versions. Skeletal archers, okay, you can kind of make out a bit of a skull on the face. You couldn't really see before. I thought maybe it was just like a hood. I was picturing like the ring wraiths from Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. Get a little more detail on the furniture there. Let's go to the next image. Okay, so this is at the Cannes, not the Cannes Film Festival, but basically the gaming festival there in France. So of course you can see this is the French version. It's not in English. So this is different than the eBay one, which was Spanish eBay, and it was shown in English version, which they weren't authorized to sell. So yeah, it looks very clear now. These ogre warriors are in gray, which is I'm kind of disappointed about. I would have preferred them in either dark blue or even red. But thus far, the remake version, they have not adopted the practice of using red heroes. No, sorry, I was saying that backwards. I'm too excited. We get red heroes, right? But what they haven't done is what the original European version did, which was give us red plastic monsters as well. I mean, think back to the Dark Company, HeroQuest Advance Quest, 1992. That had Dark Warriors. They were all bad guys, but they used the same red mercenary figures that were in Wizards of Morcar. And the original version of Against the Ogre Horde, released in Europe, the Ogre Warriors were all red, even though they were bad guys. I mean, it was pretty obvious. It's like, okay, this is an ogre. I mean, the text mentioned that maybe they could be mercenaries, but they didn't give any rules for it. So maybe people homebrewed it. But I think gray is just kind of a boring choice. I mean, even the original Mage of the Mirror ogres from 1992 were in kind of a cornflower blue color. Gray just looks, I mean, to the modern eye, it looks like unpainted. I know the Chaos Warriors were gray and everything, and that's canonical, but the Mage of the Mirror remake, they made the ogres gray, but they didn't recycle the sculpture. It's a new sculpt. So there's two different types of sculpts of ogre warriors, as we see here, and then the ogre champion and chieftain. But the names may have changed, as we'll see. So yes, you can also see the goblin with a bomb in his hand, a little grenade, and then one with a boomerang, which we saw before. There's the two different orcs that are mirroring each other, male and female, with the large bows. All this has been covered, so there's nothing new here, right? Just confirmation, couple more angles, couple close-ups, easier to see. These are photographs of the actual physical pieces rather than just photographs of a box. And if you zoom in enough, you can see the linen finish on there. Okay, here finally is some new information. New information we didn't see before. So maybe we could have guessed this, but we didn't know. So it looks like no variable body points, unless that's in the quest book manual as an alternate rule set. We don't know, but I'm just going to guess right here, right now, that they've gotten rid of the variable body points. It's fixed body points. So the Ogre Champion has 6 body points. Let's see, 6 movement, 5 attack, 4 defense, 6 body, and 1 mind. And I'm actually going to double check here and compare it to what we have from the original. Okay, first let's do a little quick machine translation from the French. So Ogre Champion, or Champion Ogre, is pretty obvious. Commandant Ogre would be Ogre Commander. And maybe that's the official title, or maybe that's the Ogre Chieftain, as we guessed before. He's got kind of the skull and the fur and stuff. Forgive my pronunciation, Signor Ogre is the Ogre Lord. And these stats are different from the official. Oh, we can't see how many mind points he has. It's cut off. But yeah, this is different than the original, and this is also different than Phoenix's recreation, HeroQuest by Phoenix at yeolden.com. It is different. I'll just tell you what he had. So Phoenix had the Ogre Warrior at 6 body, or 6 movement, 5 body. Oh, here's the Ogre Warrior, the Guerrero. I almost said Eddie Guerrero. Guerrero Ogre is the Ogre Warrior. So Phoenix's fan-made creation was 6 squares of movement, 5 attack, 5 defense, 3 body, and 1 mind. So Avalon Hill decided to make him even stronger than that. So he's got, yes, only 4 defense, but he has 5 body points, just like the ogres from Mage of the Mirror remake, which were reduced from 10, as we know. Then looking at the champion, so again, Phoenix's fan-made version, which was an attempt to convert against the Ogre Horde to from the European to the North American rules. He had 6 squares of movement, 5 attack, 5 defense, 4 body, and 1 mind. So are these stats the same? 6, 5, 4, 6, 1. 6, 5, 4, 5, 1. Okay, so yes, Avalon Hill made the Ogre Champion really strong with 6 body points. They didn't give it quite as much defense as, again, the fan-made version did. So this is different. They didn't just copy him, which is good. Okay, so, and I mean, they've had years of feedback. Then the Ogre Lord. So Phoenix's version was 4 squares of movement, just like this one. 6 attack, 6 defense. So he guessed right, but boom, look at that. 10 body points. So here, finally, they decided, hey, the final boss should have 10 body points. So the old 1992 ogres with the 10 body points, you get it. So Amalgamash, this one is for you. They're listening, and I'm happy that you got your wish, and I think it's perfectly appropriate. I would have made the last ogre 10 body points too, just to make it an epic battle. How many mind points he has, don't know, but it could be 5. I'm just gonna guess. I mean, 5 was Phoenix's idea. Now, that's the fan-made version compared to this. If we look at the original version, the original Milton Bradley version, so here's what it has. So the Ogre Warriors would have had variable body points depending on which order you encountered them in the quest. They might have 1, and they might have at most 5. So they made it 5 just by default, so that's going to make each ogre battle, rather than a surprise, it's like, oh boy, I got to fight this 5 body point ogre. But they're at least as strong as the Mage of the Mirror ones. Actually, let me double check that as well. Okay, so the Avalon Hill remake of Mage of the Mirror, those ogres had 4, 6, 4, 5, 2. So those ogres are different than all of these. It's not a perfect match to any of these. So again, they didn't just copy what came before. New sculpts, different stats. So I think that's a good thing. Now again, you may disagree and think, well, Mage of the Mirror, maybe the last ogre gets 10 body points. That's what I would do. But that's a homebrew decision that we all make. So yes, all unique. I think that's pretty cool. I personally would have liked to see the variable body points continue. I mean, maybe there's a very slim chance they would still appear in the quest book, but I'm kind of doubting it at this point. All right, so yeah, looking at this, so we've got the skeletal Squelette, or Archer Squelette. I'm saying it wrong, but the skeletal archer. Just double checking the stats here. Stats are the same as a regular skeleton, except that they're able to attack at range. Okay, it's a bit hard to read, but I'm thinking that smaller text is talking about how they can attack 2 dice at range, but they use a lance at close range for 1 attack die. And that's what it is. Okay, so pretty simple. I was thinking that it would just be the same as a regular skeleton, except they could shoot at you from a distance, but it looks like they're weaker up close. Fair enough. Okay. And the Archer Goblin, it's a little hard to see, but they've got 10 movement, 2 attack, and they've got that asterisk with some text. 1 defend die, 1 body point. Doesn't say how many mind points. So I'm assuming that probably it's 2 attack dice, except at close range it's 1, maybe. So with these guys, you'll want to get close to wipe them out. And we can't really see that Archer Orc, except it looks like 8 movement and 3 attack. And then we see a similar little asterisks down here. So again, probably up close, maybe they're only 1 attack die. I'm just guessing. Unless, I mean, it's until somebody takes another picture where they just move it over slightly and you can see the rest of it. So yeah, we get a pretty good view of that. And why only those enemies? That's it. So I think these are the only cards we see in those pictures. There's the quest book. There's the tile sheet. Okay, here we go. This is something new. They had mentioned that there's an arena tile, and you could have guessed that. There's the swinging axe, or not swinging axe. That's Frozen Horror. I'm thinking of these are swinging blade traps. And oh, look at that, a potion, number 2. Okay, so for once, a prediction I made seems to be correct. These must be the large potions that you get, the large healing potions. Now, what these shields are, don't know what that means. So, a mystery. Okay, but I'm going to guess these are the large potions that you can get, because if you played the quest as a series, you're not allowed to visit shops in between, but you would get these large healing potions that would restore all your body points. Now, these look like equipment. So does that mean you turn into a werewolf? Is that what the red figure is for? Don't know. That's a mystery, because those weren't tiles that were part of the original edition. I don't think there was any tile for the swinging blade traps either. But that's cool that they've got it. They've got the outdoor area. This huge arena tile, let's see, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 8 by 8. And it looks like an arena similar to that thing that we saw at Gen Con and several other conventions, that kind of, but it's a two-dimensional version. What's on the back? Don't know. And it doesn't look like, I mean, everybody was afraid there were thick black borders, but it looks like that's probably the part that you punch out so that it's thrown away. So, I mean, they could have been black walls instead of white walls, but that's what it is. And then there's the quest book. It's hard to see anything more than what we've already seen there. So, yeah, we learned a few things. Oh, and this is the goblin? Or no, this is the druid. Oh, of course, this is the druid hero card. So 1 attack die, 4 mind points, and I can't read the rest. So there we go. So the 3 boss ogres are large. They're 2 squares wide, as we could have seen before from the back of the box image. These 3 pieces of furniture here are at least 2 squares wide, and then of course the doors are just 1, like any other plastic door, solid gray. There's the pits of darkness. Those look very dark. There's 4 of them, and there's 2 secret doors, 6 fallen block traps. Now we can't see what's on the other side of these tiles, so we don't know if it's like the same image on the other side, or maybe a skull, or maybe something totally different. And then we've got the arena room, not the arena room, the battle room, where you see the weapons and the blood. You've got the carpet, and you've got the all-seeing eye mosaic, whatever you want to call that, from the original. So yeah, there's definitely new content, as we could have imagined. The arena is new. Don't know how it functions yet. We don't know the gameplay mechanics exactly. Swinging axe traps are new. These potion tiles are new, or tokens or whatever. What this shield token means, not 100% sure. Are there more of these? This says, well, this potion tile says X2. Maybe it doesn't mean that. Maybe it's something different. It says X2 on it. So why would it represent the big potions if there's only 2 of them? And you flip it over, and what does it say on the other side? Buy 1? I guess I'm doubting my theory here. Okay, and then these 2 packs of equipment, there's only 2 of them. How come there isn't one for each hero? Then again, it's possible that there's more tiles on the back here that we're just not able to see because this outdoor area is covering it up. Now, the opposite side of the outdoor area would be the pit of chaos, or the pit of dread. So yeah, if they flip over these 2 tiles, if they show us the hero cards, if they show us the corners of some of these other cards, we'll learn more. But yeah, we have learned a few more tidbits, a few more details. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the course of the festival that goes on for 2 more days, or no, 3 more days, till the 25th of February, we'll learn even more, and we'll fill in these little gaps. But this is cool. Even though it's not official, I mean, if Avalon Hill's there and showing the product, I would consider that as official as you can get. Just because it's not posted on Pulse yet, just because it's not in English, doesn't mean it's not legit. So thank you to all the reporters. I gotta get going here, but I'm sure there's probably other things that maybe I've missed or need to mention in later videos, but at least we kind of got this out here, just kind of get our rough thoughts. I think it looks good, but to me, it's not just about the miniatures and the artwork. I mean, that's a big important part of HeroQuest, absolutely. It always has been, and they look great. But the real test for me is what's in the quest book. What are those additional 3 quests going to be like? What's this arena mode going to be like? Is it going to be fun? Is it going to be interesting? Challenging, but not frustratingly so? What kind of other adjustments and changes have they made to the original to make it flow with the new remake rules? Will the what role will this wolf take on? What if anything will they do to incorporate the druid into the storyline? I mean, it's possible not at all. It's possible the hero is just kind of thrown in there, kind of like the Guardian Knight or the Warlock, but maybe they'll be integrated like the Bard. Who's to say? And these skeletal archers were not part of the original game. of Against the Ogre Horde. So be interesting to see how those play in. Are they like arena monsters? Is that how it works? Don't know. And of course, the variants of the goblins and the variants of the orcs, I mean, those weren't in the original, but I mean, it just, the quest notes would tell you, oh yeah, this orc has a crossbow. So, okay, you just treat him like having a crossbow. But the fact that they didn't just copy and paste that, they didn't give him the exact same stats, they tweaked it a little bit, is interesting. And so I definitely like to hear more about how that all works. So I think people are going to be happy about this, but as we learn more about the mechanics, I mean, again, if it's just a couple of minor things, HeroQuest fans are famous for tweaking it to their liking. You know, if it's 99% there, I'll get it the other 1% with my homebrew, you know, and everybody's going to disagree on the best way to do that. But anyway, thanks again. And yeah, there's this is the last big convention before the supposed release date in March, which is coming up fast. So we're all assuming that the next update we'll hear from Avalon Hill, whether on Instagram or on Pulse, is going to be, hey, pre-orders are live, you know, officially. But that might not happen, for all we know, until the 29th. But I would think this would be the perfect time for them to announce it, you know, at the end of the convention, or maybe tomorrow, because a lot of updates happen on Friday, not always. All right, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm sure we'll definitely want to check out our friends on YouTube, all the other brave reporters, whether it's Amalgamash and AshQuest, Sir Death Vids, Dungeon Master, Cristobal at La Guardia de Morcar, tons of other people who've done like one-off things, or maybe I'm not aware of. Yeah, all that good stuff. All those people, always bored, never boring. Yeah, if I left off your favorite HeroQuest reporter, sorry about that. But definitely check them out. Spread the information around. That's how we help everybody stay in the loop and get up to date and debunk rumors that turned out to be false and support the ones that turned out to be correct. So yeah, congratulations early on the release, and I can only imagine that you know, Avalon Bill and Carmine are proud of the work that they did, because I'm sure they had much to do with this, since it would have been finished probably around before the time that they were let go from the company. And we hope they're doing well, of course, as well. It'd be kind of cool to kind of follow up with them and see what they're doing next. Certainly hope the best for them. But yeah, we haven't heard about Jungles of Delthrak. I presume that'll be the next one. So those pre-order pages keep popping up and disappearing in the background with not a lot of information other than what we've heard. So, all right, that's it. Just when you thought it was safe to relax with the Against the Ogre Horde news from Can, more comes in. So thanks to Hispazargon and a whole long list of people who sent these images in and posted them in the HeroQuest fans Discord, on Instagram this time. The previous video was from Facebook. So here we go, more images. We get to see the Commandant Ogre. Let's see, the Champion Ogre. It almost looks blue in this picture, but it's still gray. So 5 mind points for that Ogre Warrior. Okay, yeah, I'll probably have to do a closer analysis of these later. I'm running out of time here. But yeah, there's the Barbarian next to the Ogre for comparison. That looks to be the arena. Is that the arena? So there we can see it's 8 by 8 squares. This is all from Cannes in France, happening right now. For all we know, after this video, there'll be even more images. Okay, so there's the arena tile. Don't know how it works, but there it is. Is that the convention? Okay, so here we go. So this kind of answers our question from before, which is, were they going to use the spell tokens for the new Mentalist Dread spells, or were they just going to use cards? Well, looks like they're using cards now. I would have preferred tokens. You can still homebrew your own tokens, but there you go. So there's the new artwork. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they must have a card for each instance of the spell, I think is what we're looking at here. and they all have this purple border around them to make it easier because you're going to be dealing with a lot of cards. Oh, and then this one is, it's of course the sheer number of cards they have may not be the same. I mean, they may just do this for illustration purposes, but it looks like we've got one design here, another design there, and a third design there because there were three. Uh, um, Mind Freeze, Mind Blast, and what was the other one called? Dominate. Yeah. So this is probably, oh no, Mind Lock. Yeah, Mind Lock, Dominate, and Mind Blast. So this must be Mind Lock, I'm thinking here. And interesting, it looks like the Witch Lord there, but I mean, that's the Dread Sorcerer, the Chaos Sorcerer figure in the new one. So there's a description of the Druid. I didn't have time to do a translation, but I assume that's pretty much the same kind of thing. I can see metal armor. They can't use metal armor. So this is for the Druid hero. There's the Druid. So Poignard, I assume, is a dagger. 1, 2, 6, 4. Looks like the same stats, just new artwork. So yes, they have the male and female cards. I think somebody was debating me on this. It's like, well, yeah, it would make sense for them to have two different hero cards, but why would they duplicate the spell cards if the figures have the exact same spell? So we don't see confirmation of that. There's treasure cards. So I don't think there were any new treasure cards in the original version, so that is something new there. Let's see, we can guess. But yeah, they may be just in the next few hours or days, they'll probably come up with some more images. But anyway, just want to address that. It's looking good so far. I'm kind of disappointed that some of the old stuff has gone away, but I mean, I have the original version, so I can still use the spell tokens if I want to easily enough. You can easily print those. The cards look cool, the artwork's big and interesting, but that just means you're gonna have a stack of cards. So you're gonna be like laying it down, handing it to the other player, saying, okay, you've got, you know, this spell is on you now. Oh, you can turn it over because it's worn off or it's been broken, whatever. So, but yeah, I'm sure all the people that didn't like the spell tokens will be happy about this. People who didn't like the variable body points on the ogres will be happy that they're fixed. And maybe if they didn't 100% agree with Phoenix's fan version from the 2000s, will be pleased to know that there's really powerful ogres now. They're even more powerful than before. So anyway, that's the news for now. So thanks for checking us out, and thanks to several people. I'm going to see if I can name them all here. So Hispazargon, Ecto Libris, Rafael Di Vikingo. Let's see, who else did we get on here? Benjamin Chapon, or Chapin. Looney Tunes. Steve RS2000, and yeah, lots of other people I've probably forgotten. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, people have been posting on Facebook. That was the previous installment. This one's Instagram. Also, people have been posting on the Avalon Hill official Discord and the HeroQuest fans Discord, and I'm sure the rest of the internet is exploding with this info as well. So this is all great. Good to hear. But yeah, we need pictures of the inside of the quest book next. That'll be the next spoiler. All right, thanks everybody.